Well, we're leaving the movie theater right now, so we've said very little about the movie, but what did we see?
We saw weapons. Oh my God.
So we probably don't have a ton of time, so let's maybe skip like plot details and let's just jump right to what did you think of this movie?
Oh my God. I was just saying, like, when we got out of the theater, I was just cracking up because this movie was absolutely all over the place.
Like, totally, definitely all over the place.
It felt like it was trying to, at the very beginning, it was like, oh, it was kind of like a crime drama. Like, maybe it's a crime drama. Well, then they started, like, they had this huge, long exposition in the front, which kind of felt like way too long. And then they cut to, like, the scenario, but then they started, like, you see names of people, and you're like, oh, it's going to be one of these movies.
Yeah, where, like, it's a little bit about one person, then the next person, and so on.
Yep. Yes. And then it just kind of goes, it's just so, they're so twisty and turny, and like I said, I don't think this movie knew what the hell direction it wanted to go in. It felt like it should have been a short story, and then they're like, let's see, how can we make this a feature-length film?
I guess I'll just cut right to the chase. I wound up liking this movie. I thought that towards the end, obviously there's going to be spoilers in this. At the end, when it kind of, it almost feels like a Tom and Jerry, like the old woman is just like, like, it was just, you know, she's running around, the kids are chasing her. It is a very satisfying ending, you know, for a horror movie. Like, how often do you get a satisfying end to a horror movie?
And that's what I mean, is like, it felt like it had an identity crisis. And like towards the middle, because a lot of it had to be done, because it's like backtracking so much that a lot of it has to be either like not explain, it's like explained entirely too much, and then at times not at all.
Yeah,
and there's montage after montage. It's like we got to backtrack, but then we got to fast forward. You know,
you feel like for the first, maybe like even part of the second act, it's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Yeah,
2 steps forward, 1 step back.
It's like, okay, like you see the part where I forget, like the principal guy, I forget his name.
Marshall, was it Marshall?
Anyways, I think something like that.
Yeah.
He attacks her at the gas station, and you're kind of like, okay, so then it goes to his plot, and you're kind of like, I wonder what happens, and then you kind of start seeing, again, just these, you kind of, like the story unfolds as it goes, in like, I don't know, like sequentially, like each character, like it advances the plot a little bit further, but it just kind of pisses me off. Like, it's just like, it doesn't need to do that. Like, it doesn't need to be that long, and, you know, maybe I'm going to get nitpicky about the details because I know we got to kind of hurry this one up here, but like the parts that I hate are like the cops are absolutely inept. Like, there is no way they rummaged inside and out of that house and they didn't do background checks or like be like, who are you? Like, who is this lady?
Yeah,
like,
I know what you
just
mean.
Like I know that, like, but again, I have to critique it like that because although that Tom and Jerry part that Aaron was talking about at the end kind of makes it seem like a fun summer movie. Like I said, this movie didn't know whether to take itself too seriously, you know, and then like just like the parts that are unexplained were like that aunt lady's waving in the woods to the like the drug guy.
Yeah,
like that's not explained. Like what is she doing in the woods? Like.
Yeah, you're supposed to think like, oh, she's otherworldly, she's a witch and has clairvoyant power, and she's, you know, this force to be reckoned with. But I do agree. I think that like this movie, I mean, again, like I unapologetically really had a good time at the end.
Yes,
even with the tonal shift, like I just thought it was very, it was very funny. Like, and it didn't. So I think some movies that take itself a little too seriously, when the comic relief stuff comes in, it feels a little ham-fisted. But this felt really like, just kind of fun.
Yeah,
but I do agree that this movie was it. I mean, it was over 2 hours, wasn't it, or close to it? I mean, I think that is way too long.
Yeah, I agree. I think the length is a problem. I will say that's not what she said, but I think that just like I think the very end to me was like, if it had ended any other way, I would have hated this movie a lot more.
I think it would have, if it would have ended on like the typical horror movie dour note of like, and the force to be reckoned with was just, it continued forever. There could be a sequel.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. And it was, I don't know. I enjoyed this movie. I did think that the pacing felt in some places so slow. I mean, you know, like at the very beginning, you're seeing the teacher, Justine, go through the motions of, she's at this parent-teacher conference and she's going to the liquor store and they're showing you that she's got this dependency on alcohol, and you kind of feel like, I mean, at the beginning, I kind of had this sense that it was going to be more of a slow burn character development kind of movie.
Crime drama, like mystery.
But then towards the, you know, the second act of the movie, it was just going from, and this person, and this person, and this person, and here's what this person did, and some of it was interesting. Some of it was like, oh, you know, seeing with the principal, how that principal, what happened with him was pretty interesting, But then you got to the parts where it was like, I don't know, some aspects of like the drifter were a little like, okay, like can we move on to seeing what's happening kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Or the cop where it was like, he's, you know, cheating on his wife, fiance, whatever.
Doesn't make a difference at all. It just feels like such it's just so full of fluff in the middle, like. And especially, like, when I think of the scares in that movie, and a lot of it wasn't really, like, tense. There's not a lot of tenseness in the movie. It kind of ends up being, like, jump scary, and then, like...
Sometimes it's like, it's not there!
Yeah. And then...
It's there, it's not there!
So 2 points. First being, like, what Arthur, like, one of the parents' dads, and then... or one of the kids' dads, sorry. And, say, dang it, I lost it. But I don't know. There's. I feel like, I don't know. I wasn't. There are parts of it that are really good. I don't know.
You know, one of the more effective scares, you know, you were just talking about, like the kind of the tenseness, which there's very little of it. I do agree. A lot of it's more jump scare based.
Yeah.
But one of the most effective ones is whenever the woman is walking out of the house at night towards the car, and you hear the car door open. And honestly, that was probably one of the most effective modern horror moments that I've experienced in a long time.
I will say that
was excellent.
Yeah. Going back to what I was going to say, like the very beginning, like the scares are not the same as the front end as the back end, because like the woman, the teacher, and then the dad both experience like a scary part with like the boy being some kind of clown. Like I don't get that.
Remind me again, the clown thing.
Or like where the 2 jump scares, like the woman has the dream about the boy, and
she's on the ceiling,
and then he like at first he was like in a bed or something, right? I can't, and then he turned his head or something, and then she woke up and looked at the ceiling, and there he was, but like he was dressed like a clown.
No, that was Aunt Gladys on the
was
ceiling.
It?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I didn't get a good. Okay.
Yeah. But it is, you know, I don't think a horror movie necessarily needs to go so far out of its way to explain lore details, but I thought that there could have been a little bit more about, like, who the hell is this person? Why'd they show up? What are they doing here? I mean, you kind of get the idea that they have some loose relationship, or maybe they don't at all. Maybe
it feels like a plot, like, I don't know.
She's got some relationship to Alex's mom, and she shows up, and you just are supposed to take on face value that she's a witch and is losing her vitality, and she needs souls or something.
But the point of like having them in the basement makes like what's the motive? Like use them to kill people?
I think it was more about she thought that sort of energy being under her control would heal her, because she did that. She said that about Alex's parents, that I came here, I thought they would help, they didn't help, I'm still sick. I think that they could have done a little bit more. Like, again, I don't think that they need to spoon feed people, but I think that having a little bit more background about who this person is would have strengthened the movie a bit for me.
Yeah, so this is kind of like the part where I feel like it has an identity crisis. I'm going to get kind of serious, because I think there's some like theme of like child abuse in this. Like, I think the part that disturbed me the most and it pissed me off was like when it's like when little kids have to witness horror things, and like the first horror, because like I'm not a big fan of, like, I mean, of course, hopefully nobody is like a fan of kids getting hurt, like. But like
you mean you're like sensitive to it in a horror movie?
Yeah, I'll say that.
Like,
yeah, definitely.
Seeing adults kill other adults is like, yes, it's awful.
Yeah.
But it's, when you see animals or kids being hurt, it's more depraved.
Right.
It's more
to
horrible.
To me, it felt like the way that they were depicted, like leaving, was very whimsical. Like it was kind of humorous, right? And they had funny music, like rock music in the beginning, and it's like, oh, like it can't be that bad. But then, like, the first real abuse you can see, at least for the kid side, is like when the aunt tells the mom and dad that, like, she does whatever to make them hurt themselves with a fork. That just pisses me off. Like, I know it's a movie, and I think that's how you're supposed to feel about it, or like just like, whatever, if you think it's kind of goofy or whatever. But that's what I mean. It's like it's like parts that are so serious and like maybe like almost push the boundary for like what an audience person can see, because like all the fake blood in the world doesn't bother me, but like that just
it's hard to watch. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's
like so why do that? And then ultimately, I guess the kids have their resolve, like they get their revenge. But then why make it so Tom and Jerry, like it's so human? And the stupid part with the drug addict guy, whenever he was under the spell of the witch, like he kept getting up and just going like, and it was like, okay, the third time, okay, we get it. And then there was like, fourth time, and then the guy punches him or whatever. And then the fifth time you think he's finally knocked out, but he just like
it's funny because I can totally understand it being annoying, and yet it kind of worked for me, because it was just like...
I'm not saying it's not funny, because it's funny, but like it almost feels like, again, you're drawing the line between, like, I'm saying, like, the absolute harshness of like a topic such as child abuse to like this absolute slapstick, and maybe that's the whole point,
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly part of it. I think that I don't know. I mean, this movie was, I don't think either you or I knew what this movie was going to be. I mean, I honestly didn't even know that Josh Brolin was in it.
Yeah, exactly.
All I knew was that it had gotten good reviews. People had been talking about it. I was interested in it. It had this kind of spooky vibe. But you're right, like the beginning when the kids are being whisked away, it is like a fairy tale. It's almost like the Pied Piper. Like, they don't seem to be in duress. It in fact, like when you're watching the scene, it almost kind of looks like the position you'd be in if you're like, I'm free, you're kind of running, and so I think that was a good stylistic choice by them to not like, I mean, they could have done the dumb thing where it was like, they're all zombies, they're emotionless, they're moving in unison to this home. But I thought that was a good stylistic decision to make.
Yeah, I think it's funny because the parts that I really like, especially the part where you talk about the scare, like the part where the door opens to the house and the mom, I would guess it's the mom, because she's like very puppeteer like.
Yeah. Almost, it is kind of hard to tell who it is that leaves.
But the way that she moves around is by far some of the creepiest thing. That's one of the creepiest things I think I've ever seen, like, from a movie.
It is like just unnatural.
It's like
enough.
It's uncanny valley.
Yeah, it's like it really nails that whole like irregular movement.
Yeah,
not enough that you're like, oh, that obviously looks like CG. It is like just manipulated enough to where you're like, is this actually happening, or is this like part of
the one of the best leads up to that is just like, it's just like you just kind of, they pan to the house and it's like the door is stark white, and then the door opens to nothing but
it's just like a void.
Black.
Yeah, it is void.
I think they do edit that to be darker, but like then in like it takes like about what felt like 20 seconds, maybe it's more like 5, but just staring into this black void and then like that thing walking out was so effective.
Oh yeah, I totally agree.
And then you know, you get like, again, the whole, I don't know, like the music choice. I think I got to give, like, I don't know, credit to like people who, like, with the blood and like the gore with like the guy's head getting smashed in. Like, I think it's like, it's kind of silly and like laughable, like, in a way, because it's so like grotesque. But it is like, that to me is like so well done as like a good effects, like just over the top, but like applaudable.
I think that in like, to cap all that off, the ending scene where the kids are ripping this woman in half from her mouth is like so unbearably difficult to watch, and yet this whole time you're just like kind of laughing at like the absurdity of all of it.
But again, this came after that chase scene, and it's just like, it feels like kind of like, you know, whatever movie was it, I don't know if it was just Ferris Bueller, but like whatever, they jump off the trampoline. And
it does kind of have that vibe. It just feels like
it just kind of goes on and on and on.
She's climbing these like fences and, you know, leaping through the backyards, going through homes.
Yeah, but the part that it's just like when the kids break through the glass, like, oh man. We just are laughing like
that's. I mean, it's just. I enjoyed myself. I do agree. There are some pacing problems. It's not a perfect movie for sure.
No,
I think that there are some flaws, but I, in general, especially in kind of the way that Cabin in the Woods works. Have you ever seen that? Where it's like, you know, the first couple acts are like, it is kind of slow paced, but that third act just has like such a payoff. You're just like, what the hell is happening?
Yeah, I agree. I think, like I said, I'll say it again, like the ending, I think definitely, I wouldn't want to say saved the movie, but it really made me enjoy it a lot more. Like, it just ended on such a good note. Like, it was so just like bombastically goofy.
Yeah.
I just like
in the best way. In a way that you're not watching it and you're like I mean, I can understand if people felt otherwise, but like in the way where I'm watching that and it still fits the movie, it doesn't, to me, it doesn't feel like, oh, you guys were trying to do this slow burn horror and then all of a sudden you're being zany. It's like, for some reason, it just really worked.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe that was just the introduction of Aunt Gladys. Who,
she's
like,
a character.
I mean, come on, like, what, like, a typical aunt name, like, who's, like, kind of, like, do you feel like she kind of has that, like, vibe of a 90s Pop-Tart commercial? Is that, like, she's in, like, a Gushers commercial or something? She's like, you kids can't eat those.
That is so funny. Reese's Puff for cereal or for breakfast.
Yeah, like, she's got that vibe of, like, over the top.
Yeah.
Curmudgeon-y aunt.
Well, that's like her. That's like the shtick is like, she's just like, maybe that's their inspiration too, because that is so spot on.
Yeah, like you can see her like in a fisheye lens, really close, just like
waving her finger,
pointing her, wagging her finger in your face, saying, "You can't have cookies for breakfast."
The way she dressed, like her hair, her bangs, like it looked like, you know, she had like the Princess Leia cut where it's like bobbed in the side, but it's so flat in the middle. And just like her big glasses, her big purse, and it's like very unassuming, but like it's noticeable by the people because they even say like, you know, you're not forgettable, right? Like the principal was saying that, like I'll remember. I would definitely remember it if I met you before, you know.
Yeah, I thought that was a good line. Yeah. It was, you know, it kind of reminds me of that stupid meme, the guess we're making blank now. Have you ever seen that? The guy that's on the conveyor belt and he's like watching a couple items come through and then some totally random things.
Like I have not very well though.
Yeah, it's just like it kind of reminded me of that. Is like at some point in the movie, about, I don't know, 65-70% of the way in, it's like, I guess we're doing Aunt Gladys now, because she shows up, and it's just like, who the hell is this person?
Yeah. No, and the police, like, if they're, like, federal agents are there, and nobody is like, we need to look into this person who, and with the only remaining classmate, and maybe his family, but they always, like, they just assume, like, the blame was on the teacher. But, like, do you really think the cops really combed through, like, I mean...
Certainly not. I mean, obviously,
I feel like that's the biggest plot hole of this movie. Was
I think we've all seen enough true crime to know that the police aren't maybe necessarily the greatest about evidence.
I mean, that's
crime
true.
Scene. But I do feel you in that, like, it seemed like very hand-wavy to be like, but they showed up and they saw nothing because the kids ran out the back.
Yeah. Yeah, or like, if of all the ring cameras only catch them running away, they don't catch a big line of, like, you know, children running towards a certain direction. Like, they wouldn't be like, where were they going? Like, because the first question you do is, like, if my wife drives the car, I'm going to be like, well, where are you going? You know, like, what are you doing?
I was kind of shocked that when Josh Brolin's character is taking out the map, it's like, has nobody tried to piece together, like, triangulate where these kids are going? I mean, he was able to do that, and he had 2 data points.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Like,
if you had a third, you would have almost certainly found wherever they were going.
Yeah. It's like, how I don't know. To me, it's like, that's one big loophole in this charade.
Yeah. I mean, I think that, like, you shouldn't go to a movie to this specific movie and think you're seeing something that is, like, ironclad. If you kind of go in not really knowing what is going to happen and you just kind of sit and enjoy the ride and let the movie take you wherever it's going, I think you'll have a good time with it. I had a good time with it, but I think that you will, if you look at this critically, I think you will absolutely find things where you're like, what the hell?
Yeah. I don't want to be too hard. I don't want to be too hard on it. Like I said, it just, a lot of parts made me laugh, but it's funny because in the beginning, I didn't know what to expect at all.
Yeah, no clue. All I knew about this movie is that it had decent reviews. That was it.
I'm kind of interested to see what else people thought about it. But yeah, again, heavy topics, but like just the punch at the end was almost worth the whole 2-hour ride.
I will say that the one thing that kind of worried me was whenever Josh Brolin is having this dream sequence and then you see this like semi-automatic rifle.
Oh, you know what?
And then the alarm showed up on it. There was a part of me that like immediately what I thought is like, please do not be a metaphor about school shootings. And
that's what I thought though. Because that's why I was like abuse but there was nothing like, I don't know what that means. I mean, is it supposed to just be like silly because it's a dream?
I think it was supposed to be like they are being used as weapons. I think just another metaphor for like weapon. The kids are weapons.
Yeah.
But at that point, I was like, "Oh my God, please do not."
I think I said that when I first. Yeah, I think I did. I don't know if I thought it or told you, but that's what I was worried about. I was like, you think children missing and then weapons, and you're like
bunch of a loner kid. I was really worried. I was like, please do not be going in this direction.
Like, and we're not saying anything like that's wrong. Just for like a movie plot, it just feels a little too like obvious. I guess,
but not even just that. But it's just like such a like I did not want to come to this movie.
Yeah.
To witness more horrors of school shootings.
Yeah.
That's not something I'm interested in.
Right.
But anyway, I did enjoy this movie. I thought it was fun. I think that you'll definitely find plot holes and things where you're like, that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense if you look critically at it for a while. But I had a good time with it.
I did too. Go check it. Well, I guess don't go check it out. Check it out at your home because I guess it's not in theaters.
It's probably not in theaters anymore.
So, well,
see Mortal Kombat 2, I guess.
See Mortal Kombat 2 and didgeridoo.
Didgeridoo?